I mean, you could be a young parent, but at the same time, if you there, show your child what's right, difference between right and wrong, and that they can do it just like you can do it, that doesn't mean they not graduate.
Everyone wants to lower the rate of teen pregnancy in the country. The question is, how do you do so effectively, and how do you do so without being extremely offensive? Well, the Human Resource Administration in New York City doesn't really know how, because they just launched an anti-teen pregnancy campaign known as Think Being a Teen Parent Won't Cost You. Now,
it's an anti-teen pregnancy message right from the mouths of babes. Ads featuring toddlers saying things like, "Dad, you'll be paying to support me for the next 20 years. Honestly, Mom, chances are he won't stay with you." And one toddler in tears proclaims, "I'm twice as likely not to graduate high school because you had me as a teen." New York City is now unveiling the ads as part of their new anti-teen pregnancy campaign. Roughly 4,000 posters are going up all over the city.
And you know that poverty among African Americans and Latinos has increased, even though those communities have seen the most dramatic decreases in teen pregnancy. That is the kind of misleading statistic that might lead some people to, blame young mothers for America's deepening poverty crisis rather than putting the blame where it belongs, on a financial system.
And He's got pictures in the subway to discourage teen pregnancy. Now, of course, teen pregnancy often leads to bad consequences. We know that. So they're trying to talk people out of this. Look at some of these pictures. These are little kids. These are real pictures that are in the New York City subway. "Dad, you'll be paying to support me for the next 20 years. Got a good job? I cost thousands of dollars each year. I'm twice as likely not to graduate high school because you had me as a teen."
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Mic Check is a show where we conduct various street interviews geared to hear the voice of the hardworking class residents of New York City. Every second of every minute of the day, week, month, and year, there is always something happening in this city. The problem is, the majority of our stories are being told for those media conglomerates that only spit out one-sided views. Mic Check's mission is to give a full 360 degree on major events, protests, and political agendas that matter to you the most. We are here to inform, educate, and entertain the working class residents with information that is vital to your survival.
Well, I haven't seen it, but it's probably degrading them, most likely, and I don't agree with that at all, because it's really not your fault if you have a child. Like, if you have a child, you have a child, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I guess I am, because mostly they make young mothers look like that they don't take care of their kids and they don't care about them, and yeah.
I think they make young mothers look wild, because if you watch the show 16 I'm Pregnant, they look like they really don't care much about their life anymore.
It's kind of like in between. Only reason why is they portray young parents as not really knowing anything and not being responsible, when not all young parents are irresponsible.
I think that there could be less dramaticism, but having a kid as a teenager does make your life harder, and they have to express that somehow.
Oh, I think the Maury show and 16 and Pregnant is self-explanatory.
Agree to an extent, because some parents don't know what they're doing and just getting into a relationship, and then a child comes unexpectedly, so they weren't prepared. So I'm 50-50 on that opinion.
If it's like an unfit home for the child, then something should be done. But if they're doing, everything properly as a parent, then it's fine with me.
I feel like they're right for what they do, because they do it, and I feel like they're right in certain aspects, because you come out here, you just see a whole bunch of kids having kids, and then either they're walking into the store trying to find a job with each other, they're paying SAG and hats still on, so kids, it is what it is.
Dominate the
a friend she wasn't really young, but she, I guess, didn't have a husband, and she was kind of young. And everybody would look at her and be like, think that she was doing all of these crazy things just to get pregnant, and it wasn't even that serious. It was like she had a boyfriend for a long time, and then she got pregnant, and they were raising this family, and everybody looked at them like she was out clubbing every night, and she just happened to get pregnant.
I had a neighbor who used to live with me. She had a baby like at 18 years old. And when my family found out that she had a baby at that age, they were all like, oh, she's going to be a bad influence on me, that I shouldn't hang out with her. But she turns out to be a really awesome person that I love hanging out with. So I find it like nobody deserves to be judged for something that happened.
No, I have friends that are young parents. It's the opposite. Everyone's like, oh, you have a child. Oh, how are you? You know, wondering if like the well-being of said child.
You're watching the Youth Channel. We'll be right back after this.
Our youth are being snatched up. They're being gunned down by the police. They're being trapped and sent to prisons for lifetimes. Over 80,000 people are in solitary confinement, treated worse than animals. This is a criminal system. It was founded on slavery. You had 100 years of Jim Crow terror, and now you have the new Jim Crow, and it's not going to end until we end this system. This is why we're talking about real revolution. We're out here to fight for justice for Trayvon Martin, but we're also here because 30 years from now, 20 years from now, we don't want to be looking at this again.
Harlem Shake.
I think this is terrible. I think this is disgusting. I don't understand why you guys are imitating it. This is worse than blackfacing. This is ridiculous. Why are you guys disrespecting Harlem? Why? And wasn't this made in like Ethiopia?
We're going to be part of the youth in this generation. And we're going to be part of the youth in this generation. Who are part of putting an end to those days. Who are part of putting an end to those days. When this system and its enforcers. When this system and its enforcers. Does whatever they want to people. Does whatever they want to people. Without people being inspired and organized. Without people being inspired and organized. To stand up. To stand up. And build up the strength to end this madness. And build up the strength to end this madness.
And now back to our show.
like the Planned Parenthood could have had like meetings or something. Like the money definitely could have been spent, you know, maybe giving the money to families in need of, you know, child support or something, like people who don't have money for diapers or...
Definitely programs, because, I mean, it's a lot of people out there that need programs, looking for programs, and I feel it's not enough programs to actually spread the awareness about it. So.
Hey, did you guys ever hear about what happened to that chick Lola? You won't believe it.
Oh, what gossip is there now? That chick does another Spanish girl knocked up at 16. You think she would have paid attention to those shame campaign ads in the MTA?
You're lying. Oh, here she comes.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Who gets pregnant at 16? Sorry, but we don't talk to losers. Oh God, here she comes again. Didn't we tell you not to bother us?
Let me tell you something, you guys. Just because I'm going to be a teen mom doesn't mean I can't dress like you, I can't have education like you, like the same music as you. If anything, we should be banding together and advocating for equality. Do you understand me?
I feel like the shame campaign ads are ridiculous. Just the stereotypes that goes along, like with being a mother, a young mother. Like I'm a mother myself. My son is 9 months now, and I'm 23 years old. I'm a producer here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network Youth Channel, and I feel like it's just ridiculous that people constantly have like this stigma attached to just young mothers and like Hispanic mothers, and I feel like it's just ridiculous. Like this is 2013 and people need to start, you know, realizing that not every mother is going to be broke or going to be uneducated, or, you know, not every mother is just going to like follow the stereotype, and I think that we need to start breaking out of this box. I feel it's really ridiculous, you know, as you can see, like I've always been this way, I've always dressed this way, I've always loved to express myself, you know, artistically, you know, like this is just who I am, and I'm not afraid to show it, and I don't feel like just because you're a mother that you need to, you know, hide who you are. And it's ridiculous that, you know, a lot of mothers, young mothers are, you know, are held back and are afraid to express themselves. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to, you know, get an education and go for your dreams. Don't let what people say hold you back, and just be who you are. Hi, my name is Maria Susana Gomez, and you're watching Mic Check.
Because not all young parents don't graduate and don't succeed in life. Like, it varies between the people.
I agree with her. Like, it varies on what you want to do with your life. If you do end up being pregnant as a teen, it's your decision if you want to continue to make yourself something happen in the future or if you want to stop.
I agree with both of them. And some of the like young parents, their parents would help them with like supporting their child. So I think that it's not just they're all on them. Some of their moms and dads would actually help them.
You could be a young parent, but at the same time, if you there, show your child what's right, between right and wrong, and that they can do it just like you can do it, that doesn't mean they're not going to not graduate.
So do you think that these ads affect the views of what it is to be a young parent?
In a way, because it just gives people probably the strength to know, like, people's already looking down on them. So it's like, I got to do this. I have to do right. Because you already got people already waiting to say, oh, look, I knew it. Look at this. Look at you, how you living. So, you know, it gives them the strength. And when I heard of it, it gave me more of a push. Like, that's just what y'all think. That's what, you know, society is society. They're going to think what they want to think.
probably affects the older generation more than the younger generation because we're more open-minded. But towards the older generation, it probably makes them look down on said teenage parents.
Every time you hear about young people being murdered, either by police, or by racist vigilantes, you have people who say, okay, maybe what happened there is wrong. But you know, these youth are no good. They can't be about nothing. Well, I'm here to say, you're wrong. Yes, they can.
Our youth are being snatched up. They're being gunned down by the police. They're being trapped and sent to prisons for lifetimes. Over 80,000 people are in solitary confinement, treated worse than animals. This is a criminal system. It was founded on slavery. You had 100 years of Jim Crow terror, and now you have the new Jim Crow. And it's not going to end until we end this system. This is why we're talking about real revolution. We're out here to fight for justice for Trayvon Martin. But we're also here because 30 years from now, 20 years from now, we don't want to be looking at this again.
Con los terroristas.
The Harlem Shake.
I think this is terrible. I think this is disgusting. I don't understand why you guys are imitating it. This is worse than blackfacing. This is ridiculous. Why are you guys disrespecting Harlem? Why? And wasn't this made in like Ethiopia?
We're going to be part of the youth in this generation. And we're going to be part of the youth in this generation. Who are part of putting an end to those days. When this system and its enforcers. Does whatever they want to people. Without people being inspired and organized. To stand up. And build up the strength to end this madness.
And now back to our show.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Part 1, reality. No, I do not know the person who is sexually active.
No, I don't know a person that is sexually active.
I don't know anyone who is sexually active. I think you shouldn't have sex, like, for your own safety, because you never know if that girl got an STD, and you never know if that boy got an STD. I think you should not have sex because, like, for me, I do not want to have babies, so I'm not going to have sex. So.
I think you should wait to have sex till like you're 17 or older and out of school.
You should not have sex because until or before you go to the doctor. Go to the doctor first. See if you have any HIV/AIDS, and if there's nothing wrong with you, then as long as you use protection, I'm not saying anybody can't have sex.
Abstinence is the only 100% way of not getting pregnant and not getting any STDs. But if abstinence doesn't work for you, there are several options for you to practice safe sex to protect you and your partner. Don't be afraid to talk to your partner about being responsible.
Presenting
how to use a condom.
Why is it all buttery like that?
She forgot to check the expiration date. Don't unroll and try to put it on. Condoms are not a toy.
So the first thing you want to do is you want to check the expiration date. You want to look. The expiration date says 10/2011. So this condom is good for use. Then the air bubbles, you want to make sure it hasn't been punctured. Then never rip it with your teeth. You use your hand. Take it from the side. Roll it out. You want to make sure that this thing is up. Because you want to roll it the correct way. Then what you do is you would hold, this would be the base. So you would make sure you want to hold the tip. So if the person's ejaculate, there's room, it won't pop. It's kind of hard with a banana. And then you roll. Roll it all the way down to the base. And once you've, done intercourse, you simply roll it, hold away from the vagina and roll it in this direction. Nothing drips out. And then after you finish, you want to tie it. To make sure that there was no holes before, and then you discard it.
My name is Latoya and I'm pregnant.
Part 2, pregnancy.
If you were in a relationship and then wind up pregnant, don't worry. There are a few options: abortion or adoption.
You ready? You ready? You ready? Everything is created and produced and directed by our young people. So what we did initially is we broke them up into different groups, and once they were in their mini groups, they decided on what script they wanted